Hello guys, in this video we are going to talk about AD Recon or Active Directory Reconnaissance, and this is a PowerShell script. All the scripts that we're going to be using are mostly going to be with PowerShell, and this script right here is basically a tool that extracts and combines a lot of information out of an Active Directory environment. And the information can be presented in a special format. Either you can have it as a Microsoft Excel, you can have it as an HTML, JSON file, you can have a bunch of different formats. And what are the information that this AD Recon gathers? It goes over the forest, the information domain, trust, sites, subnets. Even gathers the default and defined grain password policy. So it takes a look at the password policy. It takes a look at the domain controller SMB version, whether SMB sign-in is supported, and SMLO roles. It goes over the SPNs, the groups and memberships, the OUs, the group policies, and GP link, the DNS zones. So it does a lot of recon. Basically everything that we were doing before, with one simple command, we are going to now be able to get all the information that we gathered before. So with that being said, even though we learn how to do it just one by one manually, it is nice and it is good to learn what to look for, right? And not just use AD Recon, because you have to learn how to do it. Because when you learn how to do it manually, it's like before when you were in, let's say in high school, or I guess middle school, the way that my math teacher would teach us was like, you got to do it manually, and then after you learn how to do it manually, he would show us how to use the calculator and just do it with one command. So that's what basically I did. Hopefully you guys are not mad at me, but let's go ahead and use this AD Recon. And there's a couple commands that you want to specify. The one that I'm going to do is just this AD Recon, and then I want to specify the output directory, and I also want to specify the output type, because in that server that I'm going to be running this this AD Recon, I do not have Excel, so I'm going to be running an HTML output type. So for that, let's go ahead and start with the video. But let's go ahead and start running this script. So I am in my student server. Let's go ahead and change the directory to the AD. If you do a dir, we are going to see that we do have AD Recon also. So let's go ahead and do a PowerShell bypass execution policy, and then we are going to do AD Recon, and then I want to do the output directory, and I want to name this directory all AD Recon. Okay, and then I want to do a output type, and the output type we are going to specify HTML. So what it's going to do is going to run AD Recon. It is going to put everything AD Recon finds. It is going to put it in this folder called AD Recon all, and it is going to save it in the following format, HTML. So let's go ahead and do that. It's just a warning because we don't have the RSAT for the remote server administration tools. We don't really need that. It's just a warning that we don't have it, which is fine. Now it is called running on the pen testing as a student user, member of the server. You can see that it found the default password policy, sites, domain names, and all that good stuff. Fine grind fine-grained password policy. We may need privilege account for that. So let's go ahead and keep going. Found the domain controllers and all that good stuff. Now labs is not implemented. No, it is not implemented in here. So let's go ahead and ACLs. That might take some time because there's a lot of ACLs. So let's go ahead and wait a couple minutes. And there we go. It is done. So everything was saved in this path, right? In the AD folder. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. AD Recon, HTML files, and you can see everything we got. So we got about AD Recon, we don't really need that. We got the computers. So this one is going to take a look and find other computers or servers that we have out there. We have a student, file share, web, DC, and AD. Awesome. It takes a look at the ACLs. And this one is the heaviest one because this one takes a look at all the ACLs. Remember, we took a look at that, and it gives you all the ACLs for every single object that we have in here, and that's why this list is really big. And then we have the default password policy. This one is good if you need to change a password for a user, or if you're able to change a password for a user. You can see what the requirements are for that, like the minimum password length. You want to know that, and the password must meet complexity requirements and all that. And then what else we have? We have the domain. How many domains do we have here? There we go. Here's the domain name, the net BIOS, the functional levels, Windows 2016 domain. Here's the domain controller. Here's the other domain controller. Here's when it was created and all that good stuff. When we have domain controllers, which is we have two, AD and DC. Forest. This one we take a look at the forest. Right. What else we have? Anything good? All the groups that we have in here. There they are. And all the users. Here's our other users in my domain. The user SPN, there's only one, which is the KRBTGT. Okay. Sites. There we go. So all that good stuff. The OUs as well. We have groups and a server one. So not that many OUs. And there they are. Where's the index? Okay, so with the index, I guess you can just move around to where you want to go, right? It's kind of cool. Awesome. So there you go. You were able to collect all the information that we did. I think we did a couple of videos on how to do it manually, and then I'll show you how to use the script so you can get all the information that you need. Just one script, boom, and done. And we are done with our domain recon. But this one just does domain enumeration. On the next video, we are going to go over Bloodhound. And Bloodhound basically does domain recon and also finds a path. You can point out to path, like to where you want to get, and it will tell you how you're able to get there, which is kind of cool. So we are going to first set up Bloodhound and all that good stuff. So I will see you on the next video.